Welcome, one and all, whoever may be watching this. This will be part 30 of Tides of Numenéra. I just want to say, one, thank you for everyone who's been watching this playthrough, or at least this video. I appreciate it, as always. Secondly, I have to apologize. When I did video 29, it was a week ago. And if I sound in any way a little bit lackluster when I was reading things, it's because I was getting sick. And I didn't know I was getting sick, but like the degree of concentration that's required to like read the dialogue, you know, when you're getting sick and you're like trying to concentrate on something and it's just the worst thing imaginable. That's kind of exactly what was going on, but I didn't understand why it was going on. And then I got sick and it was like, oh, that explains that. Okay, so I mean, we've talked to her about this. Do I still need to try to resolve the argument? I guess, maybe? But like, didn't she give us the dude's Mircaster? I actually don't remember what happened last video. Okay, so hilariously, this speaks to my frame of mind when I recorded the last video. I didn't actually save the game once I finished, which is why I guess we had started up here and my journal hadn't updated. So we're at this point where if we continue, I'm assuming all the quests that I haven't finished are gonna fail. And at the very least, I would like to help Aretus. I'm not like... I don't particularly care so much about these ones, except I'm not sure if, you know, the choices I make now will ultimately affect the ending of the game, you know what I mean? If it's that kind of situation.
Ready.
Let's at least go and talk to Oddwall. Even though I'm fairly certain we talked to him and there was no options in regards to Choi, so I don't know what it is that I'm missing. Unless there's someone else I need to talk to first. Alright, maybe tell me about the Children of the Endless Gate. Can you tell me anything else about Interfere? What can you tell me about yourself? Ah, okay. Do you know anything about a girl named Choi? I think she might be interred here.
I'll remember that.
Ah, Choi. Choi in joyful repose, a chin in thought, a fool of the toes. Though the toes are mostly missing, snatched away by the wind, like the light in her eyes. He hums a snatch of a popular song and immediately mangles it. What was that? Ah, yes, it was no. He hums the tune again and mangles it in a different way. Yes, yes, that's it. 4, 2, 2, 1. But remember, he says, dancing from one foot to the other, if you don't want to learn anything, you must hold your breath. Huh.
Go.
Okay, 4, 2, 2, 1, and we need to hold our breath. we just gonna land in water? Is that... Whoa. Hello. Alright, let's just see what the air conditioners are doing back here. Honor remains honor, always. It is not for us to know what end is true. Only our actions in achieving it matter. Finally, my choice is made. Kafal, perfect avenger.
Ready.
Seasons roll, turning, eternally returning, but no summer twice. Chevron duoplex.
Fine.
As you approach the rock pillar of the tomb, you feel subtle variations in air temperature and pressure around you. Tiny gusts and zephyrs push your eyes towards specific striations in the stone.
Making a note.
Remembering what you were told, you hold your breath. The gentle breezes control the flickering of your eyes towards unpredictable places on the wall, and the patterns and purpose of the gusts quickly become clear. They have been training your eyes to see, and suddenly the truth comes clear in twisting letters made from distortions in the air itself. They're in an older version of the truth, but you can read them. It's an epitaph, and it bears the name Choi Kasul. Kasul, that was the surname of the memorialists you met when you entered the valley, Vronos Kasul. The wind has not stopped. Its subtle pressures are trying to guide you to new patterns. The words appear in the air, shivered into being by the subtle gusts, and you read the tale. Come you now to the tomb of Choi Kasul. It stands empty, for her body is gone, wrestled away by the foul children to feed their endless gate and its infernal master. We raise this marker to commemorate the life of our beloved, to swear undying vengeance upon the man who stole her from us. Choi Kasul, your name will live forever. The shapes hover in the air a moment longer, and then the air ceases its restless flight. The letters disappear instantly, and all that remains is the sound of your breathing. Okay, how has that helped us? Okay. I met when I entered the valley. Perhaps he can shed some light on this. Alright, so we need to find him.
Ready.
Any of you? No, we've just got Nav the Blessed. That's cute.
You want it done right.
Oh, actually. Oh no, we don't need to rest, because we can rest here for free. It's just something to be mindful of. Okay, hello Tantalum. Ah yes, okay, the one dude who has a surname.
Fine.
Sure.
Have you taken care of the cultists? The longer it takes, the more I fear for all of us. He puts his hand across his eyes. I'm sorry, I shouldn't rush you. How can I help you? I found a tomb for a girl named Choi Kasul. Is she any relation to you? Choi Kasul? How interesting. No, sadly I've never heard of the name. I took my name not from Choi's marker, but from the hero I was in my true life. Vronos Kasul. Here, let me give you the code to that tomb, so that you can visit it yourself. He clears his throat. Maybe Choi's name is in the histories. If you can access them, that is.
I'll remember that.
Okay, 2413. That's nice. I like going backwards and forwards.
All right.
It's my favorite way of playing games.
I'm going.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm pretty certain it was 2413.
Of course.
2, 4, 1, 3. Well, I mean, we've seen this before.
Yes.
It was tough being me. Chance Taka.
Ready.
Our last breaths in this tomb, at last we are free. Our two hearts afloat in rivers of time, finally beyond this reality. Our two souls released, like birds they fly away, finally together for all eternity. Jean, Francis, and Elodie.
I'll handle it.
As you touch the engravings on the epitaph, you feel familiar stirrings of air pushing your eyes towards the imperfections on the surface. As with Choi's tomb, the glyphs of the truth curl into shape as distortions of the air and form themselves into the name of the deceased, Ranos Kasul. More words begin to form, taking shape like clear smoke. Examine archives, display likenesses, leave. Oh, examine archives? A whisper of the wind tickles your ear. Protection of archives enabled. Speak the code and read freely. You remember the words of Choi's marker. Your name will live forever. And you also whisper that name, Choi. It works. Reams of potential information begin spilling into the air, hidden behind these words. History of Ranos Kasul, experiments, bequests, genealogy. History? Lighted images appear on the currents of air, subtly distorted, and they show the progression of Ranos Kasul's life. A voice slightly modulated through the wind speaks. Ranos Kasul was born Ranos Genvin, an only child in a successful merchant family of Sega's Cliffs. His parents sought for him a position within the bureaucracy. He showed an early aptitude for the gentlemanly pursuits of governing, weaponcraft, and poisons. His interests took him elsewhere. He became fascinated by the secrets of the ancients and experimented with their lost knowledge under the tutelage of Aeon priests. As one of their number, he sought the secrets of life and established himself in the field of medicine, focusing particularly on those damaged by the Numenéra. He married Rinda Kasul, taking her name for himself and their family. They had a daughter named Choi. She was the new center of Ronos' life until the children of the Endless Gate abducted and murdered her. Ronos vowed to avenge Choi's death and destroy the cult. This vendetta consumed him. Options now include a return to the main tree, where you can hear and read about his experiments, or you can continue with Ranos Kasul's vendetta against the children of the Endless Gate. Sure, let's continue. With the loss of his daughter, Kasul resigned from the Aeon priests and turned his full attention to destroying the cult. By then they had moved on, leaving him with no object for his revenge. The voice flatly notes, Rinda Kasul took her own life. Ronos redoubled his efforts, sold all that he possessed, and devoted himself to finding the children. In time, he hired an explorer named Marcisa to assist in his pursuit. There is a pause then. Neither returned. Years after disappearing, Kasul sent a letter to his oldest mentor. The voice quaked slightly. In it, Kasul explained that he had found the children and their leader Inafir. He wrote, Inafir and the others are victims, not monsters. They are prisoners of pain, and Inafir is a slave to dark masters beyond our plane. Rather than seek vengeance, I will endeavor to set them free.
I'll remember that.
Some months later, Kasul's body was transmitted to that mentor as well, and many years after that the body of his guide, Masisa, was deposited in the Valley of Dead Heroes. Thus ends the story of Ronos Kasul. Entombed herein, his wife Rinda Kasul is interred in her family's ossuary in Sagas Cliffs. The marker of his daughter Choi Kasul can be found at 4221. Masisa's tomb lies at 1254. The voice crackles to a halt and the main menu returns. Impossible! The code for Masisa's tomb is the same as that of the Endless Gate. Oh. I'm glad the game's making all these connections, because I'm definitely not. I feel like asking about experiments might possibly provide useful information. A voice speaks. Experiments include vivisection and necrosection on a variety of creatures across the Protectorate's biome. Or maybe this isn't helpful. Vivisections are the worst. These led to investigations into cross-dimensional manifestations and psychosis, a field of study Kasul abandoned upon the death of his daughter. Okay. What about bequests? A subdued male voice speaks. While Skolak Kasul liquidated the overwhelming majority of his estate shortly before his disappearance, certain family trusts and ongoing honoraria and royalties remain. These were assigned to the Aeon priests of Sagas Cliffs until confirmation of Kasul's death. At that time, his remaining properties escheated to the city. A list of financial instructions and revenue sources scrolls across the screen. Okay, I don't think we need to know his genealogy. Yeah, cool.
Ready.
Okay, so then from everything that I'm getting, everything is leading us to the Endless Children's Gate, or whatever it's called. So 1254. Yep, 1254. Oh, I just feel like if we go there, there's going to be combat. It's been so long since I've had to do combat, I'm going to suck at it again.
Go.
Alright, enter the code for both the Endless Gate and Masisa's tomb.
I'll remember that.
You can see the whites all around this man's eyes. His face is frozen in a rictus of frenzy. Can you feel it? The power of the Endless Gate. It calls to us. It is time. Where is your Lord Inafir? Already there, already begun. Our Lord and Master is at the center of it all. Before he can utter another word, the man's spine goes taut. His expression becomes that of a towel being savagely wrung out, but his voice stays drenched in childish glee. They call us now! well, let's have a look around, I guess.
Go.
The children of the Endless Gate seem to have paid special attention to this tomb. Their scrawl covers it in bloody smears and goblets. What little you can read seems to offer praise to the dead woman and to whatever it is the children worship. Beneath this desecration, however, is an old carved inscription. She stood watch between hope and horror and died beloved on her feet in the service of we who suffer. It is signed Inafia. Look more closely at the writing. Incomprehensible scratches and scrawls all around them, and you can't make sense of them. Yet, somehow they fill you with a vague and nameless horror. Amidst the bloody rants and paeans, you find a symbol carved into the stone itself. You don't recognize the sigil, but if it was cut into the rock, it must have been intended to last for many generations. Oh gosh, fine, touch the symbol. As you reach out to touch the symbol, a spark flares from it, and you feel your tattoo blazing in sympathy. The rock under the symbol evaporates as if it were transmuting itself into another dimension, revealing a large niche.
Making a note.
Ooh, we got a Merecaster. Within is a thing of strange dimensions and impossible angles, spun from an unearthly metal that seems to flow as you examine it. Its branching limbs cross in a lattice that holds no clear pattern. Tidal energy seep from it, and you recognize the sigil of the changing god stamped on its base. What else it might be, this is a Merecaster. But not one you can use, at least not now. Someone has twisted it out of alignment, and it would be impossible guesswork to return it to the proper state. Ah, dang it. I guess try to read the name. You cannot read the name, for it is obscured by splatters of blood smeared by the venerating touch of countless passing cultists. Still, you're fairly certain this is the tomb of Marcisa, whose proximity to Inafia must be what inspired this display of, you'd hardly call it devotion, but it's certainly effusive. Yeah, I was thinking it was Marcisa too. Okay, well, I'll leave this video here. Maybe before I commit to walking through this, I might just read up on this to see if there's anything that I need that might make the combat go a bit smoother. But yeah, we'll see where this goes, I guess.